Jonathan Lowe of CBS affiliate KPHO is in Phoenix. Jonathan, good morning.
Good morning. Most of the incidents have happened along Interstate 10, a highway that cuts right through the heart of Phoenix. Police are calling the shootings acts of domestic terrorism.
He just got hit in the windshield by something too between 35th and 43rd Avenue.
10 cars struck in 11 days. FBI and ATF agents are now joining police in Arizona to find who has been targeting drivers in Metro Phoenix. The latest incident was reported Wednesday when this pickup was struck near a gas station. No one was injured.
It is just a matter of time, if this behavior continues, that we have tragedy on our roadways.
Arizona Department of Public Safety Director Frank Milstead says they don't know how or if they are all connected.
I don't know if this is a copycat crime, if it's multiple people that are involved in this type of insanity. I mean, because somebody will get hurt or somebody will get killed if this continues.
The suspicious shootings have occurred along the busy I-10 corridor between downtown Phoenix and the edge of the West Valley, a distance of roughly 10 miles. Last week, a 13-year-old girl was injured by the shattered windshield of a car. Another bullet pierced a tour bus and put a hole in the seats. On Tuesday, a Phoenix police officer's personal car was struck while he drove to work. Along the freeway, video message boards are asking the public to report suspicious activity.
Why would somebody shoot at anybody at all? Especially to shoot at some innocent person? I mean, that's just insane.
Arizona residents say they are living in fear.
It makes me more cautious to be in that stretch, and for everybody else that they could get hurt or get shot. Very scary, very horrible. I hope they catch the person.
Investigators are calling this, quote, a real and serious threat to Arizona motorists. A $20,000 reward is being offered for information leading to an arrest or conviction of the shooter or shooters.
All right, that was Jonathan Lowe. Jonathan.
Come back around to this side here, and as I was telling you, it is flaring up yet again, and we will get a really intense episode of that thick black smoke. It's still a tad breezy, so I can only imagine that is making the things worse. You can smell the smoke in the air. But well, firefighters, they are still dealing with some pretty intense flare-ups. As you can probably see over my shoulder there, it's still an orange glow with those flames still working on one of the buildings. And that's likely why we just saw detectives executing a search warrant of that mobile home right there. And as you can see, it is the first one as you come through this park's entrance. Worried about getting shot at. Well, tonight, DPS tells us that they have a suspect and a weapon in custody here at DPS headquarters behind me. We understand that suspect, I saw him walk inside. He has not left this building, so at this very moment, he is still inside being questioned. We believe Daniel Shaver's movements with something like this. As he came out of that hotel room, officers say he threw his hands up in the air after they made repeated commands for him to be on his hands and his knees. They then told him, crawl towards us, and at some point, Daniel Shaver makes a move that ultimately cost him his life. Thousands of Arizonans are sickened by valley fever every year. Not much is known about the disease, and while most will only experience flu-like symptoms, it can be deadly in humans. And scientists say we should probably take a dog's point of view in unlocking the mystery of valley fever. The dust that was blowing around, it's created this awful mess, this muddy mess on people's windshields. We haven't had rain in quite some time, and so the small amount of rain that we've gotten so far, mix that with the oil on the ground, and it's going to be a slippery drive for you. So when they noticed a man physically abusing a woman behind that Jack-in-the-Box restaurant there, and as that man tried escaping from this parking lot with that woman, they stepped in. But Stephen Richardson, he was hit at full speed. Good evening, Jared. Cody Gibson is facing some very serious charges, aggravated assault and hit and run. During our interview with him inside of the Lower Buckeye Jail, he sort of took responsibility for hitting someone and critically injuring them. It's the word of dozens of witnesses.
I just want to get out of here.
Against that of 18-year-old hit-and-run suspect Cody Gibson.
So you're saying that none of those people were incorrect in that you were abusing your girlfriend?
Yeah, they didn't see me punch her. They didn't see me do nothing like that.
Telling his side of the story,
We're buying some Jack in the Box, trying to get something to eat.
he adamantly denies what numerous bystanders say happened in this Fry's shopping center parking lot nearly 2 weeks ago.
They always put more than it is. That's all they are. They're instigators.
He admits there was an argument with his girlfriend, but that he didn't have her by the hair.
I wasn't dragging her or nothing. She was standing on her feet, walking with me.
As for the person he is accused of running over, Army vet Stephen Richardson, who tried blocking Gibson from taking off with the woman.
I tell him I'm sorry. Yeah, I didn't mean to hurt him.
However,
I mean, he could have jumped out the way. He had time, but he didn't want to.
And
Tell him to take that advice. Don't get in people's business and you'll be okay.
he says this whole situation is just one big misunderstanding.
That I'm not the man that the news is making me to be. If you were to talk to me in the streets, I would be kind to you. I would be respectful.
That's right, Brandon. That Buckeye bee attack victim was transferred this evening from the West Valley Emergency Center here to the bigger West Valley Hospital. He is allergic and was stung thousands of times. Tonight, he is in critical condition on a respirator, but still alive. Ann Mora and her 72-year-old husband, Jerry, have never had a problem gardening in their backyard.
They've never attacked me before.
Bees, that is. Today, for some reason, the ones frequently in and around her yard were angry.
Those bees were so aggressive, they even followed me in the house.
They also chased her husband, who is deathly allergic to bees.
He tried to run in the house, and he fell down. And I could hear him call for me.
Despite the urge to lose focus,
I was panicked, I was. But I knew what I had to do.
and fire officials say that helped greatly in saving her husband's life.
She was able to give us very good information that he was outside actively being attacked.
First responders, in full protective gear, of course, knew exactly what they were in for.
Put him in the back of the ambulance, but he was still covered in bees. And en route, this gentleman did suffer cardiac arrest.
ER doctors were able to revive him, yet there was still the job of removing thousands of bees.
90 to 120 bees out of about a 4-inch area in his hair.
It was a horrible experience, but with a positive ending.
The only good news is he's still breathing.
And as you may have noticed there, Ann Mora, she was also stung in her eye as well as over her head and her face. Beekeepers, though, tonight they were able to find and remove that hive. And even after today's frightening ordeal, she tells me that she is not afraid to return to her backyard for some gardening. Live in Goodyear tonight, Jonathan Lowe, 3TV. Apparently nothing was going to stop Corey Brown from breaking in to another home. Not jail, not a GPS ankle monitor, not even a very high-tech home surveillance system.
I don't know why this guy was out in the first place.
Kevin Quake says the first time 20-year-old Corey Brown broke into his home, the suspect got away with a lot.
Over $7,000.
That wasn't enough for Brown.
This was the third attempt.
Yesterday, he was caught on camera unknowingly testing out one of Quake's expensive surveillance gadgets.
Doorbell that has a camera and a two-way speaker on it.
From his desk at work, Quake watched Brown watch the house, who seemingly was waiting to see if anyone was home. You can even hear Kevin giving 911 dispatchers a play-by-play.
I'm watching a guy who's getting ready to break into my house.
Quake's pit bull scared him off. Brown was arrested about an hour later. He was already wearing an ankle monitor following his arrest last year for multiple break-ins in Surprise.
I'm wondering, what is the judge doing here? Why is this guy out on the street? And who's monitoring this guy's ankle bracelet?
And Phoenix police confirmed with the monitoring agency, Corey Brown's GPS ankle bracelet did record him here at the time of yesterday's break-in. In Phoenix, Jonathan Lowe, CBS 5 News. Lowe. Thousands of Arizonans are sickened by valley fever every year. Not much is known about the disease, and while most will only experience flu-like symptoms, it can be deadly in humans. And scientists say we should probably take a dog's point of view in unlocking the mystery of valley fever.
There's no way to protect us or the dogs from them. It's opportunistic.
That nasty fungi latched on to Karen Thomas's collie, Julia.
She started coughing, and then I noticed she lost a lot of weight.
In people and dogs, valley fever never goes away. While Julia is living with the fungus, Karen's other collie wasn't as lucky.
And it was eating her spinal cord. She was in severe pain, and I had to let her go.
Humans can get just as brutally ill.
It can go to your spleen, to your liver, to your brain. It can be fatal in certain cases.
Certain cases?
It's a huge question in our research. So why do some people get sick? Why do others not get sick at all?
The answer could come from geneticists at Translational Genomics Research Institute, or TGen, in Flagstaff. It's a nonprofit laboratory that studies different pathogens and looks for ways to prevent outbreaks. They've just launched a study called Valley Fever Pause.
We're going to look at their drool, and we're going to extract the DNA.
Because the DNA makeup of dogs and humans is so similar, scientists here at TGen are hoping the drool will tell them if there's a genetic predisposition between those who get sick and those who don't. TGen is looking to study the saliva of 1,000 dogs, both that have had valley fever and those that haven't.
We'll compare the DNA from dogs within the same breed that do and do not have valley fever, and that will really improve our resolution of being able to find those genes that seem to be responsible.
Researchers say doggy drool could be vital.
It is serious, and we play it down, even as a native growing up here.
Vital in figuring out why. Just by breathing in this, it can mean a life sentence.
The goal is to get it as low as possible and keep her system as healthy as possible.
In Flagstaff, Jonathan Lowe, CBS 5 News.